Redditors who make $100,000 plus a year without affording a degree. What is your job? I buy used yachts, speedboats and ribs in Scandinavia for very cheap and sell them in Africa. I don't have a degree. I used to work a lot of shitty jobs. I was a garbage man, airplane cleaner, night manager at a stay-okay hostel. Saved enough money to buy an ice cream stand. Found out how I could sell my ice cream at festivals. Ice cream at festivals is an incredibly fast way to make money. Once I had a good amount of money, I thought it would be a nice idea to buy a speedboat and go fishing. Now that I finally have some time to relax, I did that and sent a picture to my friend in East Africa, and we started talking about it, and then we started talking about the price and how cheap it was. So I learned a lot about export and all that, and how to send it to Africa to sell it, and it worked. Then I tried again a few months later, and now I buy and sell about 15 a month. I'm imagining a blonde bearded man on a speedboat sailing away to Africa, and it's glorious. Is ribs some kind of boating term, or do you cater to cannibals? See, I would think it would work better the other way. Buy stuff in Africa for a year's wages there, sell it in Scandinavia for a week's wages there, and pocket the profit in before the market gets flooded and prices go down, because the whole of Reddit cop is you. Husband is a union tower crane operator. He dropped out of high school, got his JED at 25, joined the union at 29, and at 34 makes almost $200k a year. It's a good gig, as long as you don't mind heights. Edit. We live in the PNW. He works along the Portland/Vancouver border. Best way to get into cranes is to call your local IUOE, go through the apprenticeship program, and work your way through your certifications. Build relationships with your peers, and maintain your work ethic. You won't see the out of work list. You'll be requested for jobs. What about the ungodly hours worked? He works 50 hours a week generally. Busy jobs keep him closer to 60, sometimes 70. He's still home for dinner most nights. We have family day on Sunday, and we take some pretty epic trips, so we are not short on memories. Plus, our kids, 6 and 8, get to see him at work and learn all about the sites he's on. No different hours wise from retail management, but a hell of a lot more perks, better benefits, and we've built a great group of friends who work in the trades. So we are surrounded by people with similar schedules and priorities. Yup, this is very true. Got into the IUA at age 22 for an apprenticeship in mobile crane operator. I got paid 18.20/H the first year, made only 600H for the full year, did not touch the seat one time, was driving the counterweights, helping with setuping the cranes, etc. Then I got $27/H on my second year, and started operating little boom trucks, up to 25 ton, and started making a little overtime. Double time only, there is no time and a half where I'm from, so that's where you start making real money. Got my journeyman title the third year. I was now paid $42/H operating all kinds of cranes from 25 ton trucks to 700 ton crawler crane monsters, and made over 90k. By my 5th year with the union I was making well over 150k, great pension and benefits, and never doing shitty jobs, always getting a nice clean seat on good machines. One thing to mention is that when the union called I always said yes no matter where or what the job was I was going. This plays a major role when you're an apprentice. This is what will separate you from others. It's not for everyone, but if you like it the pay will always be good. Oh, I'm in Montreal, Canada. You could say he worked his way up. I work as a B-pressure welder in Canada. I have my own rig, truck with welding equipment in it, and I average $125/hour. Depending on the work available and how much time you're willing to put in, you can make anywhere from 100k 400k. Last 3 years I've made 250k working 9 months of the year and taking 3 months off. I'm a B-pressure welder. This is a performance qualification that we have taken and passed a test welding a 6-inch schedule 80 mild steel pipe, but welded together using E6010 rod for the root pass and E7018 rod for the full and cap passes. The pipe is examined for visual defects and then cut apart and subjected to a bend test. If there is a weld defect equal to or greater than 1/8 inch diameter on the bent pieces, you have failed. You need to pass this test every 2 years to keep your certification. This test is mandatory to weld on pressure vessels or pressurized piping if they will exceed 15C. Eyelash extensions in a rich city. My old job was high-end car sales. I sold a brand new 2018 G63 AMG to a couple who owned a bunch of nail salons. My favorite part, they paid cash, like literally a bag of cash of $160,000. I was blown away. As a former AML officer, my senses are tingling. You got dirty money there, boy. They own a bunch of nail salons. 160K is peanuts. And the fact that it's literally in a bagel mayo. Yeah, I get that, but owning a cash business in general is seen as sketch. Paying cash is also sketch, regardless of if you have it. It's a well-known laundering technique to buy cars cash, then resell at a later date. Cash transactions of that size are automatically reported to the IRS, so criminals laundering money generally are doing it with lower cost used vehicles. Source: automotive compliance industry. My brother-in-law's 3 sons are all journeyman electricians. Dad is a master electrician. 2 of them are high school dropouts. 2 of them make over $100,000. The youngest makes about $85,000, but is gaining on his brothers. Same here. Journeyman level electricians in my area is 48/hours per hour, and that wage goes up every 6 months. Working for a good shop with decent OT, you can easily hit $110,000 a year. I'm a freight conductor for a Class 1 railroad in the United States. $108,000 a year. Never stepped foot in a college before. I'm 22 years old. How do you get into this field? I went onto their website, Union Pacific, and saw they were hiring full train crew in my city, so I applied. Initially, I didn't hear much for a few months until one day I got an email to take an online test. After that test, they set me up with an interview. They extended me an offer at the interview contingent I passed the drug test, background check, and physical test. I had no background in railroading whatsoever. Before here I had worked at a oil refinery, which is big on safety, working weird hours, and outside in all weather conditions, which is something they look for. My advice for you is get set up with text job alerts so whenever they are hiring you can apply fast/first. I'm the head of sanitation services for a small city. It's a do-nothing job. I got it without degrees because I slept my way to the top. Username checks out. Sewage Joe? Edit: I forgot that Sewage Joe went to Sarah Lawrence. I was the 1 millionth person to visit a website 3 times in a row. Just gave them my credit card info and I'm now waiting for my check. Some guys have all the luck. I'm a recruiter. No college degree or certifications. I had 5 years of retail/food experience, ending that run with a general manager title before getting into recruitment. Pretty much anyone can get into a recruiting job if you apply to work at staffing agencies, Randstad, Adecco, Robert Half, Kelly Services, etc. Agency recruiting is a grind, but you can make a ton of money with the commissions, and the base salary without commissions is normally plenty to live on. And if you pay your dues with a staffing agency for a few years, you can transition into a corporate in-house recruiting job after that. My first year in staffing, my base was $40K, and I made $70K total that year including commission. My second year, my base was $42K, and I made $90K including commissions. Then I moved into a corporate recruiting job with a well-known tech company. The base was much higher, but I took a bit of a pay cut overall in exchange for better benefits and work-life balance. My first year there, I was at $70K base and around $85K total including bonuses. I just completed 3 years there, going into my 4th year now, currently at $80K base and $100K including bonuses. I have a raise going effective in January to $90k base and $115k including bonuses. If you go into recruitment, go with either healthcare, nursing or physicians, not allied, or tech recruiting. That's where the money is. You won't make much recruiting for more blue collar industries. Feel free to edit. Happy to see there's so much interest in this. I would definitely advise you to read through all of the comments. Others who also took this path have added some extremely valuable insight. Recruiting is not an easy job, especially when you're cutting your teeth as an agency recruiter. It takes a certain type of person and a lot of mental fortitude to be successful with it. But it is one of the very few desk job paths you can take to make a lot of money without it involving a ton of physical labor like most trades do. Don't get me wrong. I started my career in the culinary world and worked my fair share of back-breaking, sweat-drenched 16-hour shifts. And I'll always be grateful for the well-rounded sense of humility that has given me. But getting into recruitment was one of the best choices I've ever made for my own long-term goals and success. Underrated answer here. I'm a corporate recruiter for a Fortune 50 company. $110k salary plus 20% bonus. I tell everyone to get into recruiting. Princess named some of the big companies to look at if you decide to go this route. Elevator mechanic. I've read elevator musician. This would be a sad job. How's the elevator business? It has its up and downs. In the UK we call elevators lifts. I guess we are just raised differently. I'll get my coat. Video production 925 with a large commission 75k / side job hustle for corporate events 40k. No degree, just worked as a PA on sets. Gigged for a long time and now 20 years experience in production. How did you go about finding a company wanting to pay you for video production? Where could I find some PA work and building experience? Looking to do stuff in the video, photography world soon. The first step is you have to be where there is work. You'll have better odds in say Atlanta, Georgia than anywhere in Kentucky. But to start, search your local production companies and tell them you want to PA. Maybe subscribe to the Filmmaker subreddit for tips on how to behave on a job. Yeah, don't suck and work hard. A secret to film sets, they don't hire the most qualified people, they hire people they want to be around. Build a reputation. Stay away from jaded assholes. Fail gracefully and often. Push yourself into the unknown. 28 years old. Heavy equipment operator running mostly excavators. I work Monday to Friday averaging about 50 hours per week. I started in civil construction straight out of high school with zero connections and basically started at the bottom rung of the ladder. I also never attended any heavy equipment training schools. In the industry they are viewed as a colossal waste of money and generally produce overly confident low-skilled operators. I transitioned from a laborer position into running equipment by consistently speaking up and making my superiors aware of my interest in operating equipment. Learning from seasoned operators by constantly asking questions, almost to the point of irritating them. Offering my personal time during coffee breaks and lunches to clean the cabs of coworkers' equipment, perform the greasing procedures, shovel mud from the tracks, etc. In exchange for #3, operators would allow me to move the hydraulic controls and eventually work on some very simple tasks to get a feel for things. Over the course of a year I gradually improved to the point that my employer at the time decided to give me a chance in an excavator loading trucks in a rock quarry for an entire summer. By the end of the summer I was well on my way. I did not make anywhere close to 100k at the beginning. I credit my increase in salary to frequently changing companies, applying for jobs just above my skill set, and joining a union. Biggest positive impact by far. Best of luck to anyone looking to get into the field. PM me if you have any questions or are looking for any advice. This post is incredibly depressing. WTF have I done with my life? I didn't go to college. I parlayed a nerdy interest in computers into a network security career. True story. Taught myself basic IP networking by reading TCP/IP for Dummies and getting an entry-level tech support job. That was in 1999. By 2001 I had a job as a firewall guy at IBM Global Services, and my last year making under 100k was 2006. If anyone reading this thinks it's too late to do this now, it isn't. Learn fundamental networking, then take 2 entry-level Cisco networking classes, and then get a tech support job. If you work hard and do a little studying on your own time, you should be able to move up to a better gig every 18 months or so. Pick a popular specialty. Right now cloud security and Palo Alto firewall administration is a powerful 1-2 punch for a resume. Good luck. You've reached the end. You're a star. Destroy the subscribe button for more like that.